God damn it.
What's up, Trash Talkers? Here at Veteran Trash Talk, we actually vet our sponsors. We don't just take their money and run like a Butter Bar Lieutenant lost on the land nav course. Are you finally ready to plant your flag and claim your territory? Maybe it's time to use that VA loan to buy a home. Or hell, maybe you're looking to refinance and put some extra cash in your pocket for more questionable life decisions. Either way, the Veterans Mortgage Source, powered by Canopy Mortgage, has your six. Look, buying a home or refinancing can feel like getting overrun on a bad op. Chaotic, confusing, and full of obstacles that make no damn sense. That's where Corey and his team come in. They're like the QRF of home loans, ready to pull you out of the chaos and guide you to the best program for you. And trust me, they'll answer all your questions. Yeah, even the dumb ones. Whether you're a salty vet or fresh out of barracks still trying to figure out where your TA-50 went. Great service, solid rates, and a team that actually understands the military life. That's why all of us here at Veteran Trash Talk trust them to do right by every veteran and their family. Ready to lock it in? Give Corey a call or shoot him a text at 808-699-7874. That's 808-699-7874. Don't wait. Unless you like overpaying and getting treated like an FNG. The Veterans Mortgage Source is powered by Canopy Mortgage, LLC. All loans are subject to credit and property approval.
What's up, Trash Talkers? Listen, it's impossible to fight, okay, if you don't know what you're fighting for. Does that make sense? Like, if you're in the dumps and you're struggling with mental health, things of that nature, it's going to continue tearing you down, all right? Because you're consistently trying to fight something, which is that demon, which is usually something from the past, right? Maybe that why needs to be fighting for your future. Let that be your why. Get the hell up and start fighting for your future. Stop fighting things that happened in the past. Easier said than done, right? Go seek help. It's okay not to be okay. A lot of people need to hear this. You are more of a warrior and a fighter if you stand up and say, hey, this has to stop. I need to go seek help. The stigma, everything has changed. It's okay not to be okay.
And so my honesty cap is dedicated to a little, we'll call it a public service announcement for civilians and other people in the military. There are a few people that you should always take their stories with a grain of salt. Vegans, CrossFitters, and special operations guys that tell you that they were special operations without being prompted. The first thing they say is, yeah, I used to be soft. Right. The only unicorn in that entire group is like a special operations guy that was like a vegan and did CrossFit. That guy's probably going to stay quiet for a little bit longer because he's confused as what he should talk about first. And that's the only reason. Right. Anybody that says that they were soft without being prompted or without it being like a normal part of your communications is probably either an enabler or going to tell you a bunch of stuff that's not exactly true.
What's up, Trash Talkers? What's up, Gruntworks Nation? Big Earl. You heard Dave talk. You heard Buddy talk. Now, Buddy's all about, he is a Green Beret and he's Special Forces and yada, yada, yada. But he will not tell you that unless, he really, really likes you and he's made dinner for you. However, what Veteran Trash Talk does is we bring a lot of light to the veteran community, the first responder community. We promote that what we're doing well, all right, whether we're running for office, we started a business, nonprofit, all those things. Veteran Trash Talk is a super clean page. We got Gruntworks if you want to go there and raise a little hell a little bit, but we are here to promote veteran-owned businesses. So the show you are about to watch is a veteran or veterans or a spouse of a veteran or a child of a veteran that's doing great things in the community, and we need your help promoting them and getting them all all the success that they need. All right, guys, enjoy the show.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, and Buddy. Real warriors making fun of other real warriors. Try to not get triggered.
What's up, Trash Talkers? What is up, Gruntworks Nation? Welcome to Season 3, Episode 6 of the Trash Talk Hour. Special guest today is Army veteran and author John Flatt. We'll be discussing his book, Smoke 'em If You Got 'em. And joining me as usual are the Big Earl and Buddy. Happy Sunday.
Hey, how did you know he was an Army veteran?
Because it says it in his book.
Oh, okay. Just wondering. Just wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should read the book, and it would tell you he spent time in the National Guard. Yeah. Army National Guard. Yeah.
And then if you, if you like read your emails, like you might be able to find some stuff, what's going on and pictures and more background. I'm just kind of throwing that out there to nobody in particular, who obviously fell asleep, forgot what day it was, what time it was.
I honestly did forget what day it was, though.
Oh, it's you. It's you.
That is, I did
Oh,
forget that today was Saturday.
you got what I was putting down.
I was cleaning, actually. A little cleanup, a little housekeeping.
Yeah. You don't want to make Quinn clean up because he's an athlete. He needs to.
He has to clean the upstairs. He's got like NIL money at this point.
That's
And,
right.
Yeah, pay him.
You make him wear Buddy on his clothing. Like I sponsor you.
I should. The fucking dad's apparel line.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like
it
your
is
shirt.
dad's apparel. I pay for everything.
Yeah. And
Yeah. We all do.
we all do. I love that. It's like, hey, do you get free shit? I'm like, I pay for my shirt, bro.
Yeah, you
Like,
can't take that away from me. It's mine. What did you pay for it? I didn't. I think I paid for it. I'm letting you lease it.
Yeah. I had one of those moments actually recently too.
No discount either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had one of those moments recently too, where it's like, I'm throwing all this away. No, you're not. Like, you didn't pay for that. Like, in the temper tantrum. Like, no, you're gonna be nice to those things because I bought.
Yeah, my absolute favorite one, to be honest with you, is I'm not a big fan of locked doors. And locking a door in my house is it's like I got paid a lot of money for a long time to open doors forcibly.
Yeah.
You think this hollow core inside door with a little bitty lock on it's gonna keep me out? Come on. You're also paying to fix it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made me do this.
There is some explosives in the house, right?
You brought this evil out of me. I tried to bury this deep inside.
yeah, I can enter and clear that room before you can even get out of the bed you're laying in on your phone. Trust me.
Yeah. It's just,
Anyway, yeah.
Anywho,
Yeah, so I didn't come up with a conspiracy again because there's a lot going on and Nick's got a good honesty cap and stuff. And so we can just do like open discussion. Everybody can like talk about it or add to if they want to. But the entire week we had the Epstein stuff going on, the congressional. All right, that was pretty intense. If you guys watched any of it, but it's not really in the news at all. They're not really showing too much of it right now. We had the situation with Jimmy Kimmel. All right, so you guys can give your take on that if he should have been, fired or if it was the White House that did it, right, or if it was just a news channel,
you think ABC is listening to the White House?
Yeah. Dude, we're gonna get to it. Candace Owens and
let me get to it, buddy.
About,
fuck.
just wait, I got more.
Well, I
Candace
feel
Owens
like I'm
and
talking to my
Tucker
wife right now. You're just listing a bunch of things, and then we're gonna have
I'm
to go
listening.
back
I'm
through and like.
opening no, you don't have to. If you would have heard me speak and you would have listened to me maybe you need to wake up, buddy. Drink
we
some
picking
coffee.
one?
You're already late to the show.
Like,
Maybe you just slap
you
yourself.
named 4 different things. Are we picking one and then
And
talking about it, or are we just gonna talk
Normally
about
we're teaming up. Normally we're teaming up on Dave, but you're sloppy today, buddy.
Jesus? Well,
We're
I feel
slapping,
like
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got Candace Owens, we got the Epstein things, we got whatever.
You can talk about whatever you want.
Free speech under attack, supposedly. there's just a lot going on. That's how I opened it up with. All right. That's what I opened it up with. So we can hit on really anything that we want to hit on. And then the big one is Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson talking about the assassination of CK and who might be involved with that and what you guys have heard so far. And I'll leave it at that. I'm just opening it up for discussion, man, because I have no idea. I didn't have a conspiracy for today. I know what Nick's going to talk about during his honesty cap, which probably ties into everything I just mentioned.
I don't have an honesty
I'm just
cap.
opening
You
it up.
guys need to get your shit together.
It's the Book of Earl.
The Book of Earl. The Book of
Book of
Earl.
Earl.
The Book of Earl.
It is literally doctrine, all right? So,
It's doctrine. It's in a book. Yeah.
it's
It was the
chapters
first-
and verses up here.
Yeah.
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 Let me start with John. Yeah, John. What we went twice this week, bro. We just sold shirts to Germany, and now we got Ireland on the motherfucker. So,
Yeah, I try to keep my head well buried in the sand. I'm kind of going the ostrich route when it comes to all the American drama, to be honest. But I have heard a bit about Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, shit, I don't know. I feel like that's their role, is to make fun of people in charge, right? Like, that's like the entire existence of that job, is to kind of give shit to everybody doing things in public light. But I don't know, at the same time, when you depend on broadcasting, you're going to get cut for random stuff. I can't really understand why everybody's so upset, but at the same time, I can't really say I'm too surprised it happened. We have our own conspiracies here. They're out killing the rivers in Ireland, so that's my big thing right now. That's, if you get me on conspiracies,
Ooh.
that's what I talk about more than anything.
Yeah, what is going on in Ireland?
I just feel like
We can just talk about your stuff.
yeah. No, man, the island, the rivers here, they just keep getting worse and worse, and they've got a lot of wastewater management problems, dumping effluent into the rivers, basically dumping sewage into the rivers. Big corporations dump runoff into the rivers, killing thousands of fish. I'm a fisherman, fish a lot, and so I kind of get carried away watching that. We had a big kill of 50,000 trout killed in the river 2 or 3 weeks ago, or about a month ago, and they don't know who did it. So that's my big conspiracy. That's what the big one that gets me pissed off. But it seems like everybody's owned by the government, so no one ever gets answers. If that makes conspiracy headlines.
Are you in northern or southern Ireland?
Definitely Republic, yeah. So I'm down in just outside of Limerick, which is on the west side of Southern Ireland, if you will, not Northern Ireland. And if you've ever flown through Shannon with the military, which I did when I was coming home from Afghanistan on leave, I'm about 40 minutes outside of Shannon. So.
Ah, gotcha.
Isn't that where we flew into, Nick?
Yeah, we flew into Shannon.
Yeah. I thought so. And we weren't allowed to
Watching
drink.
everybody get shit house at the bar, and we weren't allowed to. Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to. Definitely fucking did, but we weren't supposed to.
Well, it's so frustrating.
We were allowed to drink when we flew back from Shannon when we were coming
Of course
back.
you were. You're probably in like civilian clothes and cargo pants.
Yeah,
and
you were in
Also,
Bravo.
when I was in the 82nd. We were.
Yeah, you were in
back.
Bravo Company though. You guys got catered the whole time.
No, it was when I was in Charlie Company when we were coming back from Kosovo, not when.
That's not real.
Yeah, I mean.
No. I know. It kind of was.
Kind of was. Apparently got a CIB for it. So.
Yeah, you did. You did. You get a star now? Did you get your star?
Yeah.
So do you have the gold the gold one with the star?
Yeah, I'll have the gold one with the star.
We're gonna buy you that hat. We'll buy you that for your birthday. The CIB hat.
Let's make a shirt and honor
I have a hat.
Buddy.
I could go get you my hat that the team made me for retirement. It's gaudy as fuck.
But when you retired, when you retired, it didn't have the gold CIB EIB though yet. Did they? I don't think they did.
No, I don't think so. Back then it was Desert Storm twice, Iraq twice got you the star, or what was it?
No, Kosovo.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm saying back then when we were in
gaudy ass hat.
No, we didn't get a star.
My team.
Oh, that's legit, bro. That's legit. No, you need one with the gold EIB CIB now.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, so we'll get.
Thank you for your service, buddy.
Thank you for your service. It's awesome.
I leave it back there in the back.
So
I don't even know what that is, but it's just a combat vet. That's all. That just says combat.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah.
I don't know. The the best take on the Jimmy Kimmel thing that I've heard is Dave Portnoy's take on the Jimmy
I saw
Kimmel thing.
that. Barstool Sports guy. Yeah.
Yep, because he talked about cancel culture is a bad thing, but cancel culture, like he defined it as like going back in somebody's life and just trying to figure out something that they've said at any point that upset you, and you just don't like the person, and you're trying to get them canceled. But as far as Jimmy Kimmel is concerned, at the end of the day, you work for a company. It doesn't matter what company you work for. If you say something and the juice isn't worth the squeeze, then you're liable to get fired for saying something. And you're saying something about a very touchy subject it'd be kind of like making a 9/11 joke on September 12th of 2001. Probably would have gotten your ass fired from a lot of places for doing that, because it's just, there's a time and a place for things. And it's definitely not the time and the place. And not being able to read the room is, I mean, that can get anybody fired. If you
guys see the video? Did you see the actual video though? Like, I feel like he said, and here's just my take, and I love that take, buddy. And Nick and I spoke about it pre-show. I think Candace Owens' take was amazing. She's saying that like we as a people should just like cancel him, and by canceling means we just don't watch him anymore, right? And their ratings just go down. It shouldn't be up to anybody else. And like I feel like that video was pretty harmless compared to like some of the stuff he said in the past. Like he basically just made fun of Trump because like he asked, Trump about the death, CK and how he's holding up, and then Trump's talking about the new White House ball thing that they're opening. Like I don't feel like, I personally, from what I've seen him do in the past, that wasn't really that bad. So it's like, and then
it doesn't matter what you've done in the past.
That's my opinion.
If you're not touching, but what was he talking about? Things that were as sensitive, like you're talking about something that affected a lot of people, at a visceral level, right? And it's a very sensitive subject. And at the end of the day, people that watch the show could boycott the show and just not do anything.
Yeah.
The company also knows that, and they also are a profit-driven company. Why would they wait for people to boycott so they lose millions and millions and millions of dollars when they can preemptively fire the guy, get somebody else, and try to save what they can save and not lose a bunch of money? I mean, it's just at a business sense, it doesn't make any sense to allow it doesn't make any sense to allow the
pre-backlash, get rid of the problem pre-backlash. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it. I mean, there's no point in waiting. But I mean, and it wasn't just, it was, the Trump thing was whatever. I think a lot of it was, and as we talk about,
he tweeted like a day prior when all that happened, like he was sending his condolences, like he was very like,
whatever.
I'm just saying, like it's not. There was
I don't really care. We're not. That's not what we're. And to be fair, one of the other reasons that he got fired is that, he wasn't just the Trump thing. I think people would have overlooked the Trump thing. Probably should have just not touched the subject. If you don't have anything nice to say right after somebody dies, shut your fucking mouth. Like, just don't say anything.
Yeah, that's fair. Absolutely.
But the other thing is, before that, he characterized the shooter, and as we talk about conspiracies and like who might have done it, who did it, we're bordering on making the fatal error of people that jump to conclusions way too soon.
That was happening.
Say all of it, and it's been all over the place. Like, just shut up and wait and figure out what actually happened. If he had waited another day, they released the text transcript between he and his roommate that clearly state that he wasn't some far right MAGA shooter. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if he was left or right. It matters that somebody was killed for speaking their opinion. And it doesn't matter what side you're on. It's pretty black and white. You should be able to say, hey, if the person's just speaking, then they have the right.
100,000% get behind that. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a sad time right now, honestly.
Yeah, and we talk about it.
Nick made a big post on it on Facebook, and a lot of true colors are coming out. A lot of people are showing their real, you know. And again, we
I'll
can
go
all
to
have
that
our differences on opinions. Go ahead.
No, I was going to go into that in my book, Rural, after this about projecting, right? And you a lot of people say it a lot, but I think this is one of the biggest projections of people that I've ever seen in my life. And again, it warrants it because he, I'll get into that later. But I want to talk about the Kash Patel thing, right? And so where, again, we've already covered this on the show about why we think the Epstein files will never get released, ever. It's just but there was a point in that, because those things are so boring to watch, and I'm one of those stupid people that watches C-SPAN, So I'm watching it, and they bring up a difference in physical abilities of the FBI for males and females. And Kash Patel, again, this one didn't get aired, but it was during the same thing. And he started saying, wait, so you're saying that there's a difference physically in males and females? And he's talking to the Hawaii senator, and he's like, the FBI has one standard. If you don't do the one standard, regardless of your sex, you're not in. Right? And so because they were trying to attack his character that he didn't like women serving, yada yada yada. Kash Patel is in a hot seat, and the FBI director always is, right? Because you're going to get judged based on outcomes, quick outcomes. Whether or not you're doing what you said you were going to do. Which again, you open your mouth and get cocky like Trump does.
Yeah, you saw he talked about what he was going to do, and then he probably realized, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's
so
you got to
realize
I really don't have the power anymore.
He might have
went in there with good intentions.
Yeah, you got to eat the crow now, man. That's what it is.
Alive?
Yeah, we're still alive. We're still alive. You got to eat the crow. We got a lot of viewers on X right now too, thanks to MBR Radio, man. You guys are awesome sharing us. And then with Buddy, like Buddy just said, with this whole, I posted out on Facebook, we're talking about Disney. All right, Disney is worth $208 billion. You think they're listening to the White House? You think that they're if the FCC threatens them, if Disney was in the right or Jimmy was in the right, and again, this isn't saying that I agree with the FCC, because I'm more of a constitutionalist. I think the FCC is stupid, but they have a set of rules to use the government satellites to broadcast on the networks. They have a set of rules they have to follow. So if they were in the right, they have literally buildings full of fucking lawyers, and they would tell the FCC to go pound sand.
Yeah.
But they're just we're just getting away from this. Jimmy Kimmel's ratings have been dropping. We have a reason to suspend him. And they didn't fire him. They suspended him. Mm-hmm. And again, we're talking about Disney, who you have the actress that came out against the COVID vaccine on one of the most popular shows on Disney, The Mandalorian. They axed her.
Yeah. This is the way. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right,
they did.
Then the people on the right are like, "Oh my God, we got to ban Mandalorian." No, I'm gonna keep watching it. The show's fucking awesome, right? So I'm gonna keep watching it. And then people forget one of my favorite sports, just podcasters, is Stephen A. Smith. I love how just his attitude, how he talks.
Why did you say it like that? That was a weird emphasis on Stephen A. Smith. You're just like Stephen A. Smith.
I like him. He gets me excited, right?
So Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
He said A. Smith.
A. Smith. Yeah. Well, that's because that's how he gets loud. It gets me excited. Yeah. When he gets in the morning, I get excited. I'm getting pumped up, right? Because he's pumped up. I'm drinking my coffee. I'm fired up. I'm loving it. But he years ago said black people should probably look into voting a different way for once in their life. Right? Disney suspended him. He had to come back and apologize, and he did. Right? That's that. We're talking about Disney here, and for the first time in now I'm gonna go with you, Dave, on the CERN. right? With the world flipping us access, the aliens have screwed us up and flipped us over. Like
We're in a
for the
different
first
dimension
time,
right now, homie.
yeah, for the first time, Disney went after a libtard, right? And it's making the world go nuts. like, uh-oh, like, oh, you go after libtards. This is what happens. So that's my take on what's been going on. I think Kash Patel is eating the crow that he deserves because he came out all barrel chested about how he's going to do all these things, and he didn't. So, but I will give him the credit that they have arrested more violent criminals in the first year than in a long time. So like,
I don't know that stat. I can't speak on that.
Yeah, they have rounded up some bad dudes, right? So they are doing their job that
obviously.
way. Yeah. But so yeah, that's that. Anybody else? Anybody else got anything, or can I just go right into it?
Go right into it, homie.
Yeah. All right. Well,
so we can get to our guest.
Yeah. Like I said, I talked about the projection thing, and I'm not.
Not me.
Not
me. Welcome to the show, John Flatt. The American combat veteran from 2006, 2007, currently living in Southern Ireland on the West Coast, as we all know. We'll wait until see if Nick comes back on.
He's got bad weather. He's in OKC right now, so yeah, we can probably jump to the guest. That was a good intro, buddy. I mean, John, how are you doing? Welcome to the Trash Talk Hour.
Yeah,
welcome to the shit show.
Welcome to the dumpster fire. But anyway, so John Flatt is a combat veteran. Spent a tour in Afghanistan back in 2006, 2007. Now he lives in Ireland. Got out, and he's a writer, a vet, a dad, and apparently a nerd because he does like tech stuff on the side for like freelance stuff. But he wrote the book, Smoke 'em If You Got 'em, a memoir about war that followed me home. So, John, welcome to the show. Yeah, got the book. How are you doing today? How's Ireland?
I'm good, man. It's 10 p.m., 10:30 almost now. Yeah, so end of the day. Was working a bit on the weekend, but yeah, doing well. Just sticking to the family life here. It's very quiet, slow pace life in Ireland, so hard to have a bad day. But yeah, I was interested to hear Big Girls in OKC. I grew up in Oklahoma City, so bit of appreciation for that. But yeah, anyways.
No, yeah.
So John, tell us a little bit about your military history, everything. Why you're in Ireland? Like, yeah.
So
viewers know who we're talking to and who we're watching here.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up in OKC. Originally from Pennsylvania, moved to Oklahoma when I was 8, and graduated high school, and the same year joined up. Went into the recruiter, kind of told him I wanted to go overseas. So I guess I was 14 when 9/11 happened. So kind of ripple effect throughout my life. The next 4 years, just waiting, kind of chopping at the bit, trying to do something in that direction. So went into the recruiter, and he wouldn't put me with an active unit. I wanted to go active. He was a National Guard recruiter. I didn't understand how
that's
that
what
works.
They all say. That's what all the guard guys say.
Yeah, no, that's very truthfully. As soon as I got overseas, I said I don't want to go active. I'm fucking done. So I appreciate the fact that the recruiter put me in the National Guard, because I got out of basic in December. Went to Fort Benning there. Got out of basic in December. Was in Camp Shelby, Mississippi by March. So turned around pretty quickly. And then in Afghanistan by June. And so did that tour in Afghanistan. So I was 19 when I got there, 20 when I got home. I actually got married on leave in December of the next year. So I was one of those guys. Got married, came back, did the last 6 months of the tour, and went home and finished my time there. Got a degree, but did the National Guard. Got out as soon as I could. I was definitely converted from the idea of going active and kind of living that life to when's my ETS date? Get me the hell out of here. So it didn't take me long. I think the one tour was enough. And as the book says, it's a fairly mild tour. I didn't really experience a lot. Kind of bounced around different AOs while we were there. We went as a security force group, so just tower guards and Camp de Rillemont at a typical National Guard kind of station. And then when we got there, we got attached to do some training ops with the ANA. So spent a month in the Pesh Valley and a month in the Pesh Valley was the second month. Sorry, the first month was in Blessing. So that kind of area. Did some time in Bella and out towards the ranch house for a little while as well. So just did enough, got enough of a taste, and some of my guys had it worse. I definitely would say those guys saw more than I did, but enough for me to realize at 19 and 20 that I had enough and I didn't want to keep going back. So. So I don't know what else to say. So I'm rambling now.
No. That's what we do anyway. If you haven't noticed, is that we kind of ramble on. So your book, a lot of your book, especially, is about like it's. I mean, it says a memoir, but a lot of it is like poems and just like short, kind of like, well, not really short stories, but poems and things like that. When you came back, like I was just reading, let me get the title of it real quick. The Rules Don't Change, and then the Rules Don't Change. Just before we got on here, and then there's a lot that's like, when you came back, and there was a lot about like when you came back and then going right from coming back to going to your first drill and all that stuff. Like, how did that catch you? It's like, I know we all have our own stories about coming back and going to the field for the first time and being just like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, for sure. So the Guard, we get back, we do 10-day.
Nick knows all about that one. That's a good story. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. Do 10-day demob in Colorado, and drinking the whole time pretty much. But there wasn't really a lot of information. And as a young guy, I mean, I'm sure there was tons of information, but it was death by PowerPoint, so I wasn't really paying attention. And if it was good, I missed it. But I got back and spent the next 3 months just smoked my brains out. I got home and started smoking weed a lot, and that was fine. Like I don't really have too much issue with doing all that. But from that just kind of, the first drill back, we had 3 months off. So first drill back was after that, and then I went to that in Ada, Oklahoma, and got arrested for underage drinking there. So it was on 20 and was in the bar, and I don't know, it seemed like the cop knew I was underage. I was just sitting in the back of the bar with my buddies, and he came in and straight up to me and asked for my ID, which I quickly gave him my buddy's ID and forgot the birth date on it. So that didn't work out so well for me.
It seemed like a great idea at the time. Yeah.
Wasn't a big fan of that move.
When you're drunk, a lot of things sound like a great idea.
Sound like a great idea, exactly. And I was actually pretty struck in that moment, and later on as I relived the memory, talked to my buddies, just how kind of hostile the cop was to us. And obviously every police officer is different, and everybody has their own experiences. But from that moment, I kind of realized that like I didn't get any sort of free pass. I was back to being a typical civilian in a lot of people's minds, which was fine. I enjoyed that civilian status a lot. So then I did my kind of 4 years left when I got home, or just over 4 years. So I did that time. But about 2 years into that, I got kind of carried away, started doing a lot of harder drugs, and ended up getting arrested again down the line. And so it just kind of, I'd say that was a bit of a spiral. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't really want to talk about or address. And like I said, I didn't go through like really heavy stuff, but it was enough to sit with me. And I didn't really have anybody around because I was, National Guard. We only saw each other a couple days a month. And you don't really spend that time, most of that time is spent either hurry up and wait or pretending like you're fine, and then drinking in the evenings. So I didn't really have anybody to talk to or connect with about it. And so a lot of it just kept to myself and acted like it didn't exist, which worked out for a while. And then, like I said, about 2 years after we got back, I started to experience things that I didn't expect. Had started having night terrors and trying to place that. And then my unit was getting remobilized as I was getting out. And that picked things up a lot as I knew they were going back and trying to figure out, was I going to go or was I going to carry the guilt of getting out? I had a daughter during that time. My wife and I still together. She put up with that and got me through those hard times. So after my second arrest, I was in the process of getting clean when that happened anyways. So stuck with that and kind of restarted down a path of trying to do a better job hiding it, I guess. Really, like I didn't deal with anything. Like I stopped using to bury it, and probably drank more than I should have. So a lot of the book is really covering like that kind of post torch stuff. And I think the thing that really struck me as I've aged is how little I experienced, but how much that rippled throughout my life after, and how there was no place to actually talk about it. And I think that's probably why it had such an impact. I imagine if I had got into therapy or done anything productive with what I was experiencing, it would have had much less of an impact. But because when you push things down and ignore them, they eventually come back in some way or another. And there was really no kind of education on how to address that. I think, obviously we talk a lot about the stigma within mental health, especially for men. But I think more than that, there's just not a lot. There wasn't a lot of education. I didn't know what to expect, and not knowing what to expect, I didn't know how to handle it when it came. That's kind of one of the reasons I like following you guys on social media. It's because I feel like you're really pushing the envelope as far as this is going to happen, and when it does happen, you kind of understand like it's okay that it's happening and there's something to be done about it. So that was all kind of that first 4 years coming home after being home, and then I kind of fell into a good rhythm, working and kind of being productive and working through life, I suppose. But had little things occur throughout the time that reminded me every once in a while that like I wasn't, I guess, a civilian fully anymore, and was looking kind of for a different change of pace, different lifestyle. Slowing down a bit, and I think that's where Ireland caught us. And we were on holiday here, and my wife and kids, and we just all felt like it had a good vibe, a good kind of slow, mellow pace, and myself looking for something new. We eventually decided to move out here. Had an opportunity with a job that I had at the time, and so we made that move just before COVID. Been here for 5.5 years now, almost 6, I guess now. Yeah, just 6 years since we moved here. And I think the slow pace in life has really allowed me to kind of settle down and find myself more. I do a lot of fishing, so time up on the water by myself, quiet, gives me space to think through what the different kind of series of events and how they were interlinked and potentially kind of led to each other in a way. And that's kind of what brought me into the book. There was obviously like a kind of life moment that occurred that triggered it as far as my family's cat died, and the kids were trying to grieve that. And I was very like rigid about it, very militaristic, not wanting to let them process and grieve. And it struck me that I was carrying on like maybe a poor coping mechanism or way of grieving. And then that's what made me start kind of going back and saying, well, where does this come from? Like, why would I be carrying that structure and that rigidity to it? And yeah, like you said, it's a lot of short stories or poems. It's not even written to be poetry. I think it has a poetic flow to it. Truthfully, I don't. When I wrote it, I just kind of dumped it out. Little short stories, things that I hadn't talked about to people about, experiences I'd had that I could see being connected. And when I went back and edited it in kind of my way of way of writing, I found that it had that poetic structure, but I never go back and try to make things rhythmic or rhyme. It was just how it flowed out. And I've told some other people, like, it felt more like someone else was writing through me. I didn't really feel, well, I didn't know I could write, first of all. And people tell me it's great writing, and I kind of like, I don't even, the only way I know that it's decent is when I read it back. It makes me emotional. When I see my own stories on page, or like my son, he's 11, and I try to sit down and read it to him. I can only go a couple chapters before I kind of have to step away. He eventually tells me he's tired of watching me read it, like struggling through it. So I take a break at that point. But yeah, it was kind of out of nowhere, unexpected, and it was just for myself first, and then I shared it with my parents, and just wanted them. My parents were first. I wanted them to see kind of what they hadn't seen. I knew it would matter to them because I had to talk to them, and a lot of people, I'd say, including them, didn't really know how to ask questions. Didn't know what questions to ask, and I think when you're dealing with someone, you don't know what you're going to stir up or whatever. So I shared it with them, and then my brothers and a close friend, and they all kind of were like, man, this really helped me understand you a bit more, and that helped me fill me in on some of the things we witnessed. So from there, it just turned into, should I put it out there? And I published it on Amazon with the intent to get an author's copy. You have to go through the publishing process to get the author's copy. And I kept telling myself I'd put it up and get the author's copy. So I had a printed copy in my hand, and then I would take it down. And after I got it up, I just said, no, I'll just leave it up there. Like, worst case scenario, like, people hate it and they give me shit for it. I'm used to that. I'm the youngest of four. And as most of us, I served as a private, so I know how to handle a bit of shit. So I figured if people didn't like it, that would be the worst that happened. And so I just left it out there, and eventually kind of got the nerve to start contacting people to try to get on podcasts and stuff. But,
you definitely did. And we, glad to have you on. We support anybody that's trying to do awesome things like this. Write books. We had an author that very similar style to you, Marine, with Jason Lee Morrison. He's been on the show a few times, and very powerful stuff. It's just what was coming out of his, into his head, and he would write it down. And, it helped him deal with, the demons he was carrying. And, I talk to him regularly now, and he's still dealing with a lot of those demons. But I do have the link. The link is in the chat on X and everything. So I would really appreciate it if you guys follow and watching. Like I said, a lot of people on X watching. So go buy his book. I don't know if you talked about it. I'm glad that my computer froze and I lost the internet, because I jumped out of my chair when that lightning strike happened. That you guys have been making fun of me for. So perfect that the camera stopped, froze, and the internet went out. But so if I cut out again, I'm sorry. It's that Oklahoma weather. And that's something that I wanted to ask you, is because I just was at a concert on Fort Sill last night with a country singer who wrote a song, "There Isn't a Dry County in Oklahoma." Because it's one of the only states that there's no dry county. And he's like, there's
I didn't know that.
Nothing
That's
else.
Fair.
Yeah, there's
If I lived
nothing
in
else
Oklahoma,
to do.
I'd have to drink too. Like,
Well, yeah, that's what the song was about. He goes, "There's nothing else to do other than sit around and drink and tell stories." Talk about how, if you did already, I apologize, I wasn't there, and then somebody else asked a different question. But talk about how writing the book helped you with your demons and what it did.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was just being able to see the actual progression of it all and understand that, like, these things that I kind of blame myself for. So, like, for example, my wife can pick up that my intensity levels are rising quickly, and she'd start shielding the kids from me, and I'd see that happening and get really frustrated. But then I'd be really hard on myself because I figured she's got a good reason for it. So starting to understand that, the hypervigilance, or these different layers, or the criminal behavior, the drug habits, that those were directly, maybe I wouldn't blame it. Like, life is full of choices. I made a lot of bad choices, and I'm aware of that. And I don't, like, the book isn't to try to cover my ass there in any way. But it helped me kind of understand there was a bit of explanation. And in doing that, I think, like you said, the demons of it all kind of started to stand out to me as, maybe a bit of like not my fault fully. Like I don't want to. Again, I'm not trying to cover my ass on this. I accept the choices I made, but we all have to process things, and in doing that, you also have to get past them and forgive yourself and move on and accept your mistakes and learn from them and see that they were in the past. And I think that really helped me kind of see that in front of me. It helped me in a way working with the kids and understanding that sometimes, especially with my son, he's at that kind of pivotal age where he's learning, going from boyhood into manhood, and trying to explain to him that, you know, emotions and mental health are valuable things to focus on, and that you have to be willing to cry. And even, you know, times where I wouldn't typically let him cry or work through things, now I'm able to look at him and say, you know, like, I'm not afraid of this. Like, go ahead, let it out. Like, be angry, be upset, deal with it. Like, we're here together to work through it. So I think just a lot of areas where I maybe didn't have these skills to help myself process. I in the writing of it, was able to learn some of those skills and start practicing more. I think when I was really just started writing just the stories for myself, I wrote pretty much this whole thing on my phone. I don't know, some people don't love that, but I type on my phone fast. And I actually type quite quickly, but it's just the most convenient thing. I can do it anywhere. And so I sat on my phone and I would just sit there kind of writing it out in the notes and go back and read through it and kind of see it differently for the first time, like understand the stories, individual stories, and as what they are, not necessarily as like self-blame or self-doubt or things like that. And I think that I think that's probably the biggest thing, is just actually acknowledging them for what they are, and then moving on from it. Being able to say that's.
I think that's exactly what it is. You're acknowledging the issue, and you know, you see that there was a problem, right? And then speaking it and talking to somebody about it, or putting it on paper and voicing it that way, that's acknowledgement, right? And then letting that out as a form of therapy. So I think that's a really good take. And we've gotten that a lot from a lot of the authors that have come on. And Nick always asks that question, like, you know, was this a form of therapy? And I'd say 100% of all of them said Absolutely. It was always a form of therapy, writing that book and putting their feelings on paper, and then, you know, describing the situations and what they went through. Yeah, that's a really good take.
A couple
I didn't mean to interrupt you, buddy.
While you were talking, like it's not an excuse for your bad behavior, and like understanding. And I think it's hard to kind of put two and two together and realize that, like, reflection on what you did and why you did it doesn't excuse it, but it does make you understand what happened, and so that you don't repeat doing the same thing over again. And then, you know, another thing that kind of struck me while you were talking, and I don't think I've ever thought about this before. I mean, you know, Nick and Dave and I are all active duty. And of course, like when we came across National Guard guys, we'd give them shit for being weekend warriors. This, that,
I know what you're about to say, buddy. That's
Hey, we have a great shirt. We have a great shirt for that.
Yeah.
But really, the thing that we don't think about, and I probably never thought about until this podcast, is the fact that when you come back from the States, like when we redeploy, we're all in the same place.
We're all together.
Yeah, we come back, we get a week or two of leave, and then we come back, and all the same guys are there. And when we go through things, we're going through things kind of simultaneously. And we get to talk about, you know, how things are going and what's working and not working. And you don't really have that. You don't really have that in the National Guard. You guys, you know, you only see each other one weekend a month, or if that. And if you don't do drill again for 3 months after you get back, there's 3 months where you're just sitting there trying to like deal with things on your own. And like you said, when you come back and do the redeployment, and we all do the same redeployment garbage with the PowerPoints, and I don't really know that there's another way to do it, but I know that the way that they do it isn't effective, because the whole time you're
reintegration.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole time you're in there, you're talking to your buddy about what you're going to do later, and just wanting to get the fuck out of there because you just want to get back home and see your family. And like, you're not paying attention to it. You're just trying to, like, okay, this is the thing I have to do so I can go eat dinner with my family tonight. Like, I don't want to be here. I want to go hang out. I want to go out. I want to go not be on a camp locked down somewhere. I just want to like be free of it. And you're not really paying attention to it. So, I mean, a lot of that
John,
is it's understandable. Like,
yeah. What is that? And to go off of what Buddy just said, because I was thinking the same thing earlier. What does that reintegration really look like for you guys? I know you briefly spoke about it. I might have missed it. Like 2 weeks and then you're off, and then it's just back to like regular drills 1 weekend a month, or does that reintegration take 30 days for you guys? And then you're like, what does that actually look like for you guys?
It was 10 days for us. 10
Yeah.
days.
So same with us, and then we go
Yeah.
on leave, right? And
Yeah,
then,
but
but we
we
then we
just go
come back
straight
and we're all
back.
around
Yeah.
each other again. Yeah.
Yeah, just straight back
Daily.
3 months. And I actually, it's something that sticks with me a lot when I talk to other vets. They talk about the bond. And like, obviously, I was close to these guys, but very few of them and I are still in touch, or more now. This has actually reconnected me a lot with a lot of guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, like, and I was the young guy. I was actually the youngest guy in country. So U.S. soldier in country when I got there. The command sergeant major stopped by our camp to tell me, so that was an exciting day for me. Exciting, probably the wrong word for it. A lot of do not say what not to say moments. Spent the whole day preparing, but yeah. So I was quite young, and it really like. I think that stands with me a lot. I didn't know who I was at that stage of my life. I grew up quite religious and kind of to an extreme level. And so coming home, I've been exposed to a lot of kind of change of opinion and thoughts. And then it was just back to normal. Like you didn't have anybody, you didn't see anybody that you had that time with. So one day you're in Afghanistan or Kuwait or whatever, then 2 weeks later you're just back to the wind. You've got to figure out what to do. You're not going to get a job right away, but you need to get a job.
And some people were employed prior, and they get to go back to their job because
you were just a kid, right? You were just out of high school.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything and nothing lined up. I had a good bit of cash coming home, so I made sure to spend that as fast as possible.
And the Dodge Charger.
Get a
Right
Hellcat.
away.
Yeah.
No,
I bought a 71 Stingray or a Corvette. Terrible fucking mistake.
I think that was a good call.
The repair bills on that thing were chronic. Like,
I wasted a lot of money. Not a 71 Stingray. I probably would have been happy about, even though it was
so funny. And I got to hit on the car thing real quick because you would see it all the time. Like, come back from deployment, and the whole parking lot is full of new cars. But then, slowly but surely, the tow trucks would show up.
Yeah. And the tires are off on some of the other cars. Yeah.
Payment anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. The payment on the rims either. Like you got people's cars on blocks and shit. No, I actually said that. I was on Fort Bragg last month, and I had a civilian with me that wasn't in the military. And I kind of started chuckling to myself driving up to one of the units. And he's like, "What are you laughing about?" I go, "I don't see any nice cars." And I go, "This is telling you that we haven't had a war for a couple of years. These soldiers haven't come back and bought any cars. They all had shit cars and, driving." I'm like, poor soldiers again. Buddy knows what that feels like. I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I got out of the Army and just deployed all the time and always had money. So
Yeah,
I was when I first got
nonstop.
when I first got to Charlie Company, I was the coolest private on the whole block because I had a I think it was like a 92 Chevy work truck, and we could all load up in the back and drive to Raleigh or whatever. But John, that was another thing kind of struck me. Yeah, it kind of struck me as you were talking is you were talking about you grew up fairly super religious, and then you deployed. How did you do you think that maybe had a part in like wrestling with the I guess the opposing ideologies of being super religious and then also being in a country fighting people? That's oftentimes it's hard for especially people that grew up like very religious to kind of, I guess, come to grips with.
Yeah, it was. I think the kind of the twist that I didn't expect, because obviously, so I grew up like I'd say, almost in a cult, if you will. If you've heard of Bill Gothard, ATI, LVIP, IVIP, any of that stuff, there's actually a documentary, but you probably have watched or heard of 19 and Counting. So that kind of reality TV show where the family just keeps popping out babies. Anyways, that that level of Christianity was my upbringing. So grew up with that. I was fairly prepared to go to war against another religion in my mind. That was kind of okay, and I had that thought process. And then I got there and got attached to A&A guys. So there are a lot of my pictures are actually with A&A soldiers out further out, kind of downrange. It was spent with me, one other American soldier, and about 20 Afghan soldiers that I knew. So I was getting to know and create relationships with guys who believed were Muslim. And so there was this kind of eye-opening experience of being such a young religious kind of gung-ho type individual. And then on top of that, all of my Army buddies were, I'm sure they are all religious to some extent, but you guys know, like there was a lot of colors.
There are a lot of
different things going on. They're getting exposed at a young age for sure.
Yeah, and like everybody was shocked. You never.
We got Catholics, we got Jedi Masters, we got it all.
Yeah. I mean, I had a squad leader that was a male witch, a warlock. Like
Wiccan,
one of those.
Yeah, like he literally was levitating. At least he thought he was levitating. We can't prove or deny that he wasn't, so we're not sure if he was a liar. But
and nobody died in the squad. He had a protective shield over.
He had a protected shield over us, and opens up portals of demons that I entered, and mistakenly at nighttime, and I don't know if I have any repercussions of that. But yeah, you get into some real shit in the Army, man. That's for sure. Yeah.
We had a Jedi. I forgot who the Jedi was, but he had Jedi on his dog tags. He was a Jedi.
Lambert.
So. Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, Lambert was the Jedi.
No, I think there was somebody before Lambert too. I guess Lambert.
You could put anything on your dog tags.
You
Dave.
can.
I had airport.
No, but he believed.
Hey, don't knock Jedi, buddy.
He believed in it. He believed in it.
Yeah.
And then we had all the Wiccans. We had tons of Wiccans. Yeah, we had it all, which is great. A diverse group of people.
Yeah, and I mean, you'd like this, John. When I first talked to Dave was from Germany, right? So he didn't really know how to be an American. And when we were there, he honestly thought that you would win the Powerball if you bought like $100.
Oh my God!
Like he's like, and he was trying to break it down. And he's like, no, guys, look, if we all put in $20, like,
no, that isn't accurate.
I'm sitting here like,
no. We made a platoon like let's all throw some money in a Powerball like any company does, and if
you gotta win it, you gotta win it, man. 100 numbers, bro. 100 combinations, you gotta win it. I'm like, no, they don't have this in Germany, do they? Yeah. So
only trolls.
Now, well, yeah, the trolls are real, but now Giuseppe, he ran a different kind of lottery in Italy, so it's those lotteries were rigged. We won't get into that. So like,
oh shit.
Yeah, it is what it is.
That's awesome. Yeah.
All right, I don't know if we cut you off before you answered Buddy's question or not, but
I mean, I think I was there, but yeah, it was very eye opening, very kind of world changing in a lot of ways, and the religion was definitely a part of it. And then coming home and wrestling with all that, trying to understand what I thought of the world at that stage, and I'd say like. Being so young when 9/11 happened, I even look back now. There's so much marketing in the different branches, trying to recruit people, and the different commercials you're watching. And after 9/11, it really picked up, and I remember really like buying into it, and then coming home and everybody's starting to change their kind of thought process on, we shouldn't be here, we should be here, this is our opinion. So everybody's got a lot of opinions when I got home, and I remember really trying to like take all that in and absorb it, and then trying to process it. And I spent a lot of time trying to understand, like, do I agree, do I not agree, was I supposed to be there, should have I been fighting that? And at some point, and more recently actually, it struck me that like why I joined and whether it was right or wrong had nothing to do with like how I should look at it and the pride that I should have in the fact that I made this choice at a young age to prioritize other people over myself and say, this is what I'm going to do to bring better. And I think that was something that really only came out in the last probably 6-7 years once we moved here. And I separated from it, but everybody's got to tell you what they think. And for the first while, after I got home, everybody would forget where I went. friends and parents would say you were, oh, he was in Iraq, and you're like, love of God, like we're in 2 wars right now, like, and we should all be able to like remember that it's not too complicated. But then Afghanistan kind of started to get the spotlight.
We invaded Iraq because of 9/11, right? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
That's what people. Yeah.
Can't let them oil fields go to Russia, bro. Not happening.
So yeah, I think that there was like that change in narrative and mental perspective for myself that really played a big role in, I'd say, some of the darker times and trying to just figure out who I was and why I did what I did. So I think that's a good question. I like it's something a lot of people don't really appreciate, like that drastic change from being so religious to being confronted with religion and different opinions at such a high level. I think it shook me.
Yeah.
I think that becomes one of our superpowers as we get older. Honestly, is you leave. People need to leave America a lot more often, and they need to go to places that are third world countries and really, like, the one thing, like, and I can remember deploying in like 2000 into beginning of 2004. When it was fairly fresh and getting there, and there were a lot of people that were like, we're just going to go like kill all these dudes and this, that, and the other. And then you get there and you start driving around, and the thing you notice is that it doesn't matter if they're in America, Iraq, Afghanistan, like Ireland, France, wherever. Folks are folks. Like, normal people are just normal people, and they have the same hierarchy of needs that everyone else does. They may get them from different places, like spiritually, they may get it from Muhammad, they may get it from God, wherever. But at the end of the day, people are just people, and normal people just want to be left alone. And then
it's hard to have that take, though, buddy.
It becomes you have to become you have to mature.
That's why.
Before you realize it, before you go, wait a second. And then I think that helps you deal with why you were there and what you did there, is when you can look at yourself in the mirror and go, it doesn't matter who sent me or why I was there. I'm proud of what I did while I was there. I didn't do anything that, I didn't do anything illegal or immoral to me. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody shot at me, like, bitch, I'm gonna shoot back. Like, that's that's the game we're playing. You wanted it. I received. Now it's your turn. Like,
and I might just be better than you.
Yeah, Nick and I have had conversations about this multiple times, because it's like the human factor that comes into play. Like, we didn't see anything like crazy, like anything illegal, but just the way
murder brigade
treated
stuff,
others. Right? You know what I'm talking about, Nick, right? Like how others were treated when you went and kicked in a door into a house, and you're looking for somebody, but like find out the house was like totally not them, right?
Yeah,
the guy and how we're treating them. Like, I don't know. And Nick both of us would always speak the fuck up, because that's what you're supposed to do as an NCO. But like, I saw some things and it was just like, that human factor is missing,
that
right?
shit off. Like, don't put your hands on that person like that.
That takes emotional maturity, and you still talk to a lot of people. Like, I still talk to a lot of buddies that deployed, and some of them are still in that mindset. Like, and it's like, after experiencing all of that, like, how?
I think the difference is that, like, and when you when John is telling his story, like say the National Guard, right?
Yep.
John was the youngest guy there, but had exactly the same amount of experience as the platoon sergeant.
As everybody else, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
None of them had been able to see it and grow it in other units. Like in 2003, like, you had to kind of figure it out, and everybody was trying to figure it out together. But the longer we deployed and the more you deployed, you had guys that were on their second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever deployment, and they could grab dudes up and be like, hey, look, they're high speed. Like, I got that you watched a lot of movies and you think you're going to kick in some doors and you're really going to like win the war all by yourself and, catch terrorists and, do all this other good stuff. But at the end of the day, these people are people and their kids are just kids. Leave them alone. You're going to make it worse.
More enemies.
Yeah, they're going to blow your ass up next week.
And we've all got stories. Hell, I remember there was a guy, and he's a super good kid, really good kid. But he hung out with a lot of other kids when it was on his first deployment, and they got the idea that it would, it'd be fun to take candy in a slingshot and slingshot candy at kids.
Yep.
And it took one time of finding out that it happened, stopping the vehicle and telling him, look, dude, I can kick you out of the truck right now, take away your gun and your body armor, and see how awesome and badass you are. But at the end of the day, they're just kids, and they're just you're just being a dick. Like, don't be a dick. Don't treat.
You're literally creating more enemies.
And
You're literally creating. Yeah.
And not only are you creating more enemies, but young ones that are just gonna get better at being enemies. Like, stop. Just stop.
Yeah, they always used to call me and Nick like Haji lovers and stuff, but we had all the connections. Like, we ate with them when the food. Oh, why'd you guys eat so well? They fed us, man.
Yeah, celebrating, Ali's birthday and stuff like that. Learning some stuff about their traditions and yada yada yada.
Nick and I were part of all of it, and people would be like, "You Haji lovers." I'm like, "Dude, we're keeping them close, man." And some of them later on found out they were on the other side.
Yeah, they were on the terrorist watch list, and it's like, good thing they liked us, because if they were gonna green on blue somebody, it wasn't gonna be us. Right, so like they knew that we are
other cultures and stuff. Yeah. It's just.
I got a question for you.
You're absolutely right.
I got a question for you, John, because I'm here at Fort Sill. I work for a company that created some suicide prevention training with virtual reality, and Fort Sill has a problem. And I made a post, where I went out hiking up here in Medicine Park and found a nice view. Right. And I'm sitting there like, dude, I would not want to be stationed here. Like, I wouldn't. And it would probably suck. But I know that in the Army, I'm only going to be here for 3 years. Right. And I'm going to do everything I can to get out of there. But get outside. Like, go find something. Don't sit and be miserable. And we've had guests. We have Jimmy. Outdoors. And people like get veterans outside. You brought up fishing. Like, what kind of fish do you catch in Ireland? Are they like, is it different? Are they like Irish fish, or like what's in the streams there? Is it like, do they come out with like kilts on, or like
they don't wear kilts in Ireland. That's Scotland. Wrong country.
Yeah.
But no, brown trout. A lot of brown trout here. Same in Scotland, actually. Sea run trout are in the rivers, but if they're sea run trout, you're not allowed to fish there without a license. So we just say they're not sea run trout in that river, and we just move on with it. So we don't have to have a license for that one. Some rivers have salmon still, if they're not the rivers that are either dammed up or being killed. Then obviously all the saltwater fish. So there's sea bass, pollock. I don't know. That's pretty close to the same. We're on the Atlantic, so you're going to get a lot of Atlantic saltwater fish. And then there are rainbow trout here, but they're all stocked. And in lakes specifically, they don't really do a lot of stocking on the rivers. They're all wild. The rivers are mostly. But yeah, the fishing, the whole outdoors thing was huge for me. Even right when I got home, I did a lot of hiking. We went to Colorado a lot, eventually moved to Colorado. So did a lot of hiking on the Rockies there and fishing. My grandfather taught me to fish. Well, my parents too, but my grandfather and me were particularly close, and we fished a lot together. And I remember fishing once with him, and he was actually a missionary to Ecuador when I was a child, in my really youth and young years. And he fished a lot there. But I talked to one of his buddies, and we were out fishing one day, and he just said, "Your grandfather saved my life." And I was like, "How was that?" And he said, "He taught me to fish." And I was only probably 14 or 15, so I didn't really grasp the concept or the level of that. But after he passed, he was a Vietnam vet, so he died from Agent Orange complications 2 years after I got home. Around the time things kind of got rough for me, 3 years, somewhere in that time. But I kind of put down fishing and just kind of walked away a bit. I'd fish only when a certain, like if it was a specific brother and me met up, I'd go fishing then, or different things like that. But it was very rare. And my family and I moved to Puerto Rico. Actually, can't remember what year it was, but I can't even remember the years right now. But a few years after we moved to Colorado, we ended up in Puerto Rico, and I taught myself to fly fish while I was living there. and saltwater fly fishing at that. And that was the first time I really put myself alone fishing. And something changed in that time period. That was kind of the first time I was able to be alone and be quiet and be still, and kind of start processing. So I tell people a lot, like the thing that I suggest the most is find something outdoors, just start doing it, get outside, be in nature. There's something about that rhythm you can pick up, the pace of it all can settle in. And yeah, fishing's been a big one for me. And since I've been here, I've really picked it up even more. Last year was probably my biggest fishing year. And I'm not surprised this all came out the next year, because I spent so much time, any free time. I live 10 minutes from a river that I fish. So any free time I was on the water, and really just kind of, I don't know, I keep saying it, but got in touch with myself, that the pace of it all, the slow down and quiet really kind of impressed a lot on me. And so I started finding more about myself and asking deeper questions. And so, yeah, I think the outdoors is big. And I know Oklahoma is a weird one. I wouldn't want to be stationed in Fort Sill. I would never live in Oklahoma again. And I know anybody from Oklahoma that knows me or family and stuff that is watching this would think I'm crazy for ever having left in the first place. But for me, it's just not much to do. And yeah,
you gotta go make yourself happy, right? Yeah, and then if you find out that you're not happy in multiple locations, then it's not the location. Like it's you. You're the common denominator. But you definitely got to go find it. I actually have to get boogie, and I have to go to the Buffalo Soldiers event tonight and go Veteran Trash Talk. And thanks to all of your T-shirt buys, everybody watching and then watching the show, because we used most of the revenue from this to do really cool things, sponsor sports teams, do other stuff, and again, we were able to buy a plaque for the Buffalo Soldiers on Fort Sill to honor them out here, and get to go hold Geronimo's gun too. So that's fun. We're gonna go do that. But John, it was a pleasure talking to you, man. I'll turn it over to Buddy for the AAR. And go buy his book. The link's in the comments, nerds.
Yeah. So AAR, pretty simple. You can have whatever thought you want, but if you represent a company, it's a pretty good chance if you speak out, especially during a company event or TV show, you might get fired. So don't do that. That's stupid. That's not common sense. You're not that important, and neither is your opinion. Anywho, lightning scares the shit out of the Big Earl. He has to go clean his pants now. Maybe a little bit of maybe some poop in there. Nobody knows.
I got extra underwear. Don't worry.
But then lastly, Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em by John Flatt. And I'll tell you, there's if you look through it, it's not a book about one thing. It's a book about quite a few things. Like I said, I was actually just reading one of your stories about when you were getting ready to ETS and they tried to promote you and extend you, and they kind of what you went through with not deploying and how you dealt with that and how it affected you. So there are a lot of different facets to the book, written well, and it's written in a way that even a dumb old infantryman can pick it up and read it.
Infantryman wrote it. Yeah.
And feel good about themselves. So pick up the book. Definitely, if you really want to look into yourself, it's easy to do that when you're looking at the ways that other people dealt with their issues and how you dealt with yours, and what you may have done well and what you may not have done well. So AAR your own life, guys. AAR yourself. Anyway, that's all I got.
AAR yourself. I like that. That's a good. I like that.
Ooh, that's a shirt. That's a shirt. Yeah, nobody's gonna buy it, but we'll make it anyway. Yeah.
John, you got the last words, brother.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on here. I was really happy to get the response from you guys. And I appreciate anybody reading the book. If anybody wants it and doesn't want to give me the money, they can always email me.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You're supposed to get paid. Not saying that. You're supposed to get paid.
Fair.
If you're a veteran, buy the book and pay full price and support people.
Yeah, like the douchebag asking for a discount on Gruntworks today. I'm like, dude, we sell our shirts at the bare fucking minimum.
Like,
Yeah, don't be the
stop it.
douchebag
You
that
make
goes to your
$1 a
friend's
shirt.
restaurant and then asks for a discount. They're your friend. Pay full price.
Yep.
Yeah,
If they're your
actually pay
friend,
more.
fucking
Buy
idiot.
somebody else's dinner there. That way
Yeah,
they can be like,
tip.
oh,
I got
I'll
him.
come back here. Yeah.
Yeah,
You got 'em
tip
started
like a
now,
boss.
John.
Stop
Yeah.
being an idiot. Yeah.
This is
I'll
what
let you
happens.
guys
This is
keep
what
on that
happens,
one.
Sean. See what happens, Sean?
Yeah,
Let's
you
see,
triggered
let's
us.
see.
I
Yeah.
have to put on
Yeah.
a whole different shirt.
Yeah, I gotta go get my
Yeah.
trigger pansy shirt on. It's in the car. Throw it at people. So,
I appreciate that, though. I honestly, I want to get it into whoever's hands that needs it, can read it, anything like that. If there's something out of it they can get, it makes me happy to hear about. But yeah, it's been a pleasure to be on, and look forward to keeping up with you guys as the time goes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks,
man.
Sean.
Awesome
Thanks for
having you.
sharing your story and your experiences and putting them into words and providing it to the world. So go buy the book if you're watching. All right. If you tuned in late, go to VeteranTrashTalk.com. That is our website, which has links to everything. Go check out shop.VeteranTrashTalk.com, where you can buy our awesome merch. The one up here to quit being a triggered pansy. Good job, Chris. You put that up because Nick and Buddy were definitely getting triggered just now. Nick is wearing the FAFO, fuck around and find out. And then Buddy is wearing front towards the enemy, I think. Or no, the
that is a
beeper.
good one.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
TNT
So,
Mobile.
awesome.
TNT Mobile, baby. Talk about Mossad.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. Get that service. Get that service.
We'll catch you guys next Saturday. Faceman VTT out. Boom.